This is the Sony FX3. This is a humongous upgrade for me. I currently am using a Sony a7 III that came out in 2018, so this is a massive upgrade for me. There's a few limitations that kind of pushed me toward upgrading my whole kit, but there's a few things that I didn't know going into this that I felt that people that were looking at this camera, especially now about 3 years after it originally released in 2022, but it has continually been upgraded. There's a few things I want people to know. So first and foremost, I got this off of Greentoe. Greentoe, if you're not familiar, is a great place for camera equipment, audio equipment, appliances like refrigerators and washer machines, dryers, and things like that. The way it works is you put a bid in and you hope that a retailer will actually accept the bid. If they accept the bid, you get that item. This item retails in the US for about $3,900 without taxes. With taxes, depending on your state, it could take it well over $4,000. Greentoe fortunately cuts deals with retailers, and what happens is you end up getting a camera that is fantastic, brand new condition, and you're not paying any taxes. So I ended up paying about $3,400 for this camera alone. For the body only, it comes with an XLR handle, but $3,400, no taxes, brand new, straight from the retailer, fantastic. Greentoe, this is not a sponsored video by any means. I did reach out to them just to make sure I was able to communicate that to people, because you're leaving money on the table if you're not looking for the best possible deals. But without further ado, let's get into this unboxing, and I'll kind of talk through some of the things that I found out, because I do have a couple items here. One is a cage from Small Rig. This is something I wanted to do for a long time because I've had my eyes on this camera for a long time. And then I got a CFExpress Type A card, and I'll explain that in a little bit. So let's go ahead and start getting this box open. So obviously, if you've gotten any Sony cameras in the past, this is very different than their traditional alpha boxing. This is the cinema line, obviously intended for heavy duty photography. I am, for all intents and purposes, an enthusiast, but I am someone who appreciates good video, someone who wants to do better with video. There's a lot of limitations that I had with my Sony a7 III. Chiefly among them was the fact that I couldn't shoot log, and log is something I want to shoot with. I want to get better at color grading and just lighting and things like that. It's crazy that my iPhone 15 Pro Max and my Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra can both do log, but my camera couldn't, because obviously the camera's older. But anyway, this is going to allow me to do 10-bit recording. It's going to allow me to shoot in log and obviously just mess around with colors and lighting and things of that nature. So first and foremost, in the box, you do have just kind of a standard cardboard box, but you do have the XLR handle. The XLR handle is really cool. I don't do any XLR recording. I do a lot of my recording directly to my mic, which is directly connected to my camera. I'm a little bit intimidated by like having a separate source for my audio, but that is something I do want to get into, because you want to be able to have incredibly high audio, or high quality audio. Right now I'm shooting with a lavalier mic from Rode, and it's going into my wireless lav from Rode. So before I used to shoot with a shotgun mic from Rode, and it was a good solution, but honestly the wireless lav really works better for what I want to do. So this is the XLR handle. You do have, I'm not really sure what this is. Oh, that's cool. So you do have a dock for your charging, a dock for your battery charging and things like that. I do believe that the standard FZ100 batteries do fit in here, so let's go ahead and try that out just to make sure, and it does. So these take standard batteries. I do have 2 batteries standard with my Sony a7 III. I do have 2 spare batteries for that, so that's another battery for this particular camera. This is the actual body itself. I'm not going to go and open it just yet. I just want to see the other contents of this box. You do have a charging cable for the dock, and I believe that is it. There looks to be one more thing. Looks like the hot shoe mount and the battery. So now I have a total of 3 batteries for this FX3. You can never have too many batteries, in my opinion, especially if you're planning to do a shoot and you are going to be kind of like out all day and you're going to be doing heavy shooting, obviously you want to have as many batteries as possible. I do not have a dock yet. I do plan on getting like a multi-battery dock at some point just to make it easier for me to charge. So this is the camera itself, and I want to say first and foremost, this thing is super premium. I believe is a completely magnesium body. It is quite hefty. For what it is obviously a cinema camera, but it is a pretty hefty camera. You do have the handle, you have again the magnesium body, you do have a full HDMI port in here. What I have on my Sony a7 III is a micro USB to HDMI, so it is useful and it works, but having a full size HDMI is just much more convenient to use. But overall, I really like this camera. One of the things that I needed that I didn't have, I had it on my ZV-E10, but that's a crop sensor. On the FX3 and a lot of more modern cameras is this flip out camera or flip out display so that you can actually kind of see what you're doing, a flip out viewfinder. On the Sony a7 III, while it's a very capable camera, you could only do the kind of like pop out and up and down display. So having this viewfinder that can actually flip around and I can actually see it from where I'm sitting is a really nice, useful thing. So another part of why I upgraded is the limitation of only shooting in 8-bit on a Sony a7 III. While again, it produces very good video, it is something that is a limitation if you're planning to shoot and log and having that kind of like fine-tuned control over what you do. But this is the Sony FX3. It is a beautiful camera. At this point, just looking at reviews and things like that, the camera itself doesn't necessarily go on sale too often, but when it does, it's one of those things you definitely want to pick up. But the reason why this thing doesn't go on sale often and it kind of retains its value is because it continually gets updates. There is rumors of an FX3 Mark II coming out at some point soon, but as of right now, this is the only one that exists on the market. We may see an FX3 Mark II sometime this year, sometime next year, but for now, this is mine. This is my new camera, and I cannot wait to start shooting, but obviously I have to learn a lot of the ins and outs. Another thing that I learned in my research for this is CFExpress. I have never used CFExpress. I use SD cards. I use UHS-2 V90 cards, and they're high-speed cards. They read and write about 300 megabytes per second. It's a quick speed, but CFExpress is much faster. You traditionally get around 1.5 to 1.7 gigabytes a second of transfer speeds, which is a phenomenally fast card. And for me, it just presents an opportunity for me to be able to shoot in the highest quality possible that the camera allows me to. But one thing I didn't know was that there's several types or several versions of CFExpress. There's the ones that I know of right now is Type A and Type B. I thought Type A was like the better, higher, like faster card, and then Type B was a slower card or outdated card. What I learned is that Type B is actually a bigger sized card. So it's a card that will fit a lot of other cameras. Unfortunately, it does not fit the FX3. The FX3 only fits Type A, which is a small card, and I'll have this in B-roll, but it fits a very small card that is probably, I would say, smaller than an SD card, a traditional SD card. Fortunately, it does come with a Type B adapter just in case you do have a Type B interface, but right now for the FX3, it only takes Type A. Now, one thing you want to know is Type B or Type A cards. There's some from all types of manufacturers. Sony offers a tough Type A card, and that one is incredibly expensive, more money than what you would traditionally pay for. This one, which is an OWC or Otherworld Computing card, you would actually end up paying maybe a third more if you're actually getting a Sony branded one. And the flip side, or the ironic part of that, the irony of it is the Sony branded ones that are labeled as tough are actually slower than the OWC ones. This one has a read-write speed of up to 1.7 gigabytes or 1700 megabytes, while the tough version of the Sony card actually can only write up to, I think it's 800 megabytes a second. So I don't think it's gonna prevent you from using any of the features, but for me, I want the fastest possible speed that I can get. You can also get CFExpress readers, but you don't need it. You can connect your cameras directly to your computer, so you can get the video offloaded onto the computer or onto an external hard drive, so you can start your editing process. But nevertheless, something I didn't know going into this is that the FX3, while I thought was CFExpress and I was ready to buy one, it is CFExpress Type A only. And so that's something to keep in mind when you're looking for memory or storage for the FX3. But overall, the FX3, this thing is an incredibly beautiful camera. Just from a design standpoint, I'm a industrial design fan. I just love the way this looks, and it presents a lot of upgrades for me. The other upgrade for me is the 30-minute recording limit when I am recording on my Sony a7 III. It has a 30-minute recording limit, and if you're trying to focus on content, you're trying to focus on the script, you have that 30-minute recording limit in the back of your mind. It actually is incredibly distracting, knowing that you only have a finite amount of time to record before the camera just stops. And it's not due to overheating or anything like that. It just literally has a 30-minute limit. Newer cameras, you do have a limit by default, but you can actually turn those off. You do run the risk of the camera running hot or overheating, but that's something that doesn't necessarily happen unless you're in a hot environment or you're recording for probably hours on end. But that's going to do it for this video. One other thing I do want to mention is my cage. I did get a small rig cage for this, and this gives you abilities to add on attachments to make it more I guess run and gun friendly, depending on what your scenarios are or what your situations are going to be when you're shooting. But nevertheless, if there's anything you want to know about the Sony FX3, if you're looking to upgrade to the Sony FX3, if you're an amateur like me, or you're focused on content creation and you're a professional, definitely reach out, comment on the video, like the video, subscribe, all that fun stuff. I definitely want to open up dialogue. I love learning, and I want to learn about this camera, more than what I already know. You know, I always compare having a camera that you've worked with for a long time as an appendage. My Sony a7 III, while it is older and limited, it is like an appendage. I know exactly what I need to tweak without having to look at meters and things like that. And that's something I look forward to getting with this camera. I look forward to getting familiar with this camera, familiar with all its quirks and features and things like that. Nevertheless, if there's any recommendations you have or any suggestions, any advice you have for any users of the Sony FX3, please leave a comment. If you liked this video, like it. If you didn't like it, dislike it. But if you really, really liked it, please hit that subscribe button. Thank you all for watching, and you have a great day.